Patalafatu Lausunga, Lelia Masaga, Manuia. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you feeling this morning?
Yeah, I'm all right this morning. I was disappointed yesterday. Obviously, Saturday's game with the referee's calls, but it is what it is. You just gotta move on.
Yeah, bittersweet final. Where did you watch the game?
I watched the game at home. I watched it with my son. So
Mm.
we just chilled up on the couch and watched the game. I was thinking about going down, but my wife had an event on, so I couldn't.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think she was with you on the weekend, Janine. But no, it was a good weekend. Just cooped up at home with my kids and watched the game.
Nice. It was actually a great weekend for the Crusader supporters. But I'm going to ask you, Ohanio Langona i le ta'alonga, what are your thoughts on the game and where do you think the Chiefs could have dominated more?
I think what went wrong in the game was, I mean, everyone always blames the referee. I was blaming the referee at some point, but then again, it just comes down to game awareness. I think there was a lot of kicking games that not put so much in because they were doing a lot of kicking, and then obviously when we kicked, they made the mistake. They gave them the opportunity to attack. Um, but where we could have dominated a little bit more was probably getting the forwards to carry a little bit harder in the ruck areas
Mm.
and then look to go wide. From what I was watching, we were just trying to go wide straight off the bat.
Mm.
And there's always a rule, you've got to earn the right to go wide. So if the forwards, and I'm not going to say they didn't play a good game. The forwards played an awesome game.
Mm.
But if they just stayed a little bit composed and had a bit more patience, I think they could open up a little bit more holes. Because the Crusaders, they did come to play,
Of
and
course.
man, they performed pretty well. They performed under pressure, and
Mm.
so did the Chiefs. But then again, it's just um, the number two, he was doing probably giving a bit too many penalties away without being able to hold his weight over the ball.
Mm.
And the ref said if he infringes again, he's going to give a yellow card. And it ended up being Jacobson, the number 8. He ended up being over the ball, couldn't support his weight, and then because of that, he got a yellow card. So
Mm. Speaking of
the
yellow
Chiefs just gave way
cards,
too much penalties.
yeah, what do you think about the referee regarding the yellow cards? O le alo tali tonunga I koza laufali I yellow cards ye le ta'alonga.
I think to give 3 that night is probably
Yeah.
too much.
Mm.
That's way too much for a game. But then you've got to look at it when the Chiefs were doing stuff they weren't supposed to do. The Crusaders were doing the exact same thing, but they were getting penalised for it.
Mm.
So again, there comes a balance, and I mean, I think Crusaders did an attacking play, and it might have been the second 5 through a 10 meter pass, or a 3 meter pass, forward pass, but no one called that. No one called that.
we
But
we
and
call
then
that
they
a flat
called
pass.
uh, a flat forward pass. But then you look at Damien McKenzie; he was probably just a meter inside the 10 meter line, but they were able to come back and review that
Mm.
after scoring that try. So there has to be a balance. If there was a forward pass that happened in the play, the referee should be able to go back and have a look at that.
Mm.
But
Speaking of
then again,
Yes, speaking of McKenzie and Richie Mo'unga, what do you think the comparison between those two are?
oh, if I was an All Black coach and I had to pick my team,
Mm.
I'd probably go Damien McKenzie.
Mm.
Just he's a kid that's exciting. He always takes his challenges, and Richie Moore is the same.
Mm.
But I prefer a bit of speed behind my plays. I prefer a bit of razzle,
Yeah.
and I feel Damien McKenzie as a 10 would be unreal,
Mm.
especially for the All Blacks.
Oh,
But yeah, then again, it's hard to look past Richie Moore because he's awesome as well.
of course, different ball game. And speaking of speed, you were also known as the Flash or the Twinkle Toes. Which one do you prefer best, Flash
Oh,
or Twinkle
wow,
Toes?
I've never heard of Twinkle Toes.
I saw it on a review that was done describing how fast you were and the speed. Ia o oio se tasi o tamata alo sawa fo ia Jamie sa e ta alo ai. So, but speaking of the Super Rugby finals, so the Chiefs, le aulea sa e ta aluai, tausanga lua fisfulma lua, back to back, lua fisfulma le tolu, you guys won back to back in that year. And 10 years ago, you were the only Samoan selected in the starting 15 for the Chiefs final. This year, Chiefs have Angus Ta'avao, Antonina Brown, Etene, Nanaise Turo, Naitoa, and so many others. How does that make you feel about the growth and progress of our players? You know, o le ase langona ia te oile va ai atu I le tele o alo Samoa, leo mo maua vanoi au te tele o le Super Rugby.
That I was the only someone that played in the finals. I didn't know that. That gave me goosebumps. But that's actually wow, that's special. That's actually pretty special. And seeing the the Samoan community in terms of making it pro is awesome to see. It's real awesome to see. Like when I first played rugby, I looked at Alara Mia as one of my prime examples. Then you've got all the other Samoan players that play for Samoa, but I mean to represent New Zealand is one thing, but to be able to play with obviously your Samoan brothers, it's real special.
Now, you didn't get a chance to play and represent Samoa. If you were to go back, would you choose differently?
Wow. And see, some people don't know, but so that's why I moved to Japan. I needed to play in a foreign country to be eligible to play for Samoa. So I went from Japan, 4 years in Japan. Then they gave me citizenship to go and apply for my Samoan passport. So I went to Samoa for the very first time in my life. And I got my Samoa passport. And then I presented my documents to Sansa to be able to represent Samoa in the next World Cup. And they gave me the no because I had played for All Blacks. But it makes no sense now because you've got like Tim Dana Williams, you've got Fritz Lee, who have played for New Zealand, but now can represent Samoa. So, yeah, I'm still disappointed in that because one, my goal was to play for the All Blacks, and two was to be able to play for my home country, which is Samoa, and not being able to get that opportunity, I think it would always hurt. It would always hurt. But again, seeing other players that also play for New Zealand and play for Samoa, special, very special.
Yeah, but you're doing so much more as well for not only the players, but also the young ones. The program that you are helping with, helping so many young Pacifica, sports players and athletes. Can you touch a little bit on this and what you're doing at the moment?
Oh, so I am a teacher at Westlake Boys High. But at the same time before that, I was a business owner at a gym in Manu City. But at the moment, I just run classes for kids. My passion is kids. I love kids. I love training the older group, but they're already well equipped. They kind of understand. Where kids nowadays, their confidence level is not that high. Some of them might be getting bullied at school. So I run a boxing program for the little kids, and I have time for that. So like I turn up to today we've got training today. I'll turn up there. Kids will already be ready to run, and we run 2Ks before we start training.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just giving them that mindset where we got to run first before we train. But the most special part is 3 weeks ago I had one of the parents come in, and she brought me a cake. Her and her daughter brought me a cake, and this little girl, she's the cutest little girl you ever meet. And she's been bullied. She's been getting bullied at school. Funny enough, by another Samoan kid.
Wow.
But she confronted her bully, and I don't condone violence, but she stood up for herself. She stood up for herself, and now her mum says she just walks around not afraid at school, and she helps her little brother out. So that's really special for me. That the program that I created was to obviously be a safe place for the kids to be able to come be themselves, but at the same time build confidence and have fun.
Amen, amen. Speaking of building confidence, it's the Rugby World Cup. We've got the Rugby World Cup later this year. And the Manu Samoa team have been selected. What's your confidence level in our team for the Rugby World Cup in their preparations?
Well, again, Salala Mapusua is a really good player. Okay, he was a really good player. Probably probably one guy I really hated tackling when he played for the Highlanders because he'd look at me and just run straight at me. And I just hope that Nivata also would just come and just tackle this guy for me because size difference, I was little. Salala Mapasua was like twice my size. But him as a coach, I think Manu Samoa is going to go well. It's going to go well if he's done his job in terms of selecting players that are playing overseas. Like you got Brian Aloisi, who has just won. I think it's Pro 14 in France. Him and his club, they've just won it. Fernando Williams, I think he was in the same club too. So you got all players that are playing overseas who are really, really getting good at the game. You got Fritz Lee, who was the captain of Clermont. He should be available to play. And then you've got all the players from Moana. Yeah, Moana haven't been, they weren't really a strong team in the Super Rugby, and you don't blame that. I can't blame them to have the performance that they have because you've got mixtures of players that are trying to gel with each other. Give them 5 years, they'll probably be an unbeatable team. But then you've got players from there that Samoa can select, and I just think if Salala Mapasua is able to select the right players for the team, I reckon semi-final Samoa will make it.
Yeah, 100%. And last question, o whiau nui Samoa a Lelia?
I am from Whaisko Kai.
Ah.
Yeah, I think I'm like one village away from the airport.
Yeah.
But I'm your typical plastic Samoa guy. So I've really never been to Samoa once. But my goal is to make sure I go there a little bit more.
And what about Lingangana ma isivainga language? I remember you said you're taking languages or language classes. You're looking at taking language classes?
Yes, I am looking at taking language classes. One is obviously getting a better understanding on how to speak my own language, Samoa. So I really want to get back into that. And also Te Reo Māori. So at the school, they don't have a Samoan teacher here.
Yeah.
And if I was able to get my degree in both, which is languages in terms of Te Reo and Samoan, it'll be awesome. It'll be awesome to be able to teach Samoan and Māori at the school. And they need it. We need more kids being able to talk Samoan rather than just the naughty words.
Yeah, exactly. But thank you so much, Lily. Is there anything else you'd like to touch on or mention before we wrap up our chat this morning?
No, thank you for having me on here. I'm retired. I'm old. I am no longer the Flash. I am now the Crash. But I appreciate Radio Samoa for having me on here.
No, thank you so much, Molefa Avanoi no Lotemi. We appreciate your time. We know you, it is valuable. So we thank you for taking the time out and being with us today. Have a beautiful rest of the day and the week. And hopefully chat to you soon about Manu Samoa and the upcoming Rugby World Cup. Lelia Masaga, se tasi o alo Samoa, lea sa ta alo mo le au lakapi, ale o Blacks, ma le Chiefs,